everybody, welcome back to another episode of TTALK, where it is you plus me plus a lovely cup of tea. And today we are back with another episode. It is season 3, a brand new season. It is also springtime, okay? So we are in alignment with everything that is going on. We're in alignment with nature. But if you guys are new here to Tea Talk, this is just a safe and safer space where we sip our tea and we talk the real tea, which is how to heal thyself, okay? So if you all don't know me, my name is Asa Shakur, formerly known as Tyler A. Norman. I am the author of the book, Love Starts Here. And this book basically takes you down a life-changing journey of learning how to love yourself on all levels, all energy levels, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, more than just, you know, the face mask and the bubble baths and all the things that we like to talk about on social media and all those things, but really getting into the deeper aspect of it, just feeling your emotions, learning how to reprogram your mindset, and so much more. So definitely check out that book if you haven't already. I'm also the owner and CEO of the All Natural, which is your one-stop holistic health shop where we provide all your needs for a natural lifestyle. So without further ado, this is season 3 of Tea Talk. We have a new setup, new vibes, new background. You know, we're just coming with everything new, just elevating and just growing. And we also have a guest today, very special guest. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, tell you some things about her.
My name is Fonneisha, and I am a co-owner of Aum Skin Care and Wellness, which is a lifestyle brand, so just creating products and services tailored to people who look like us.
I love that. Love it. So definitely repping, you know, melanated, beautiful woman today. But we're just gonna get into an authentic conversation, you know? And I'm gonna pick a few cards. And I kind of want to go into like what we was talking about a little bit earlier before we started filming. Just how like the way we're raised really affects how we move in our lives. Like when we are adults. You like the tea?
I love it. It's so good.
But yeah, like just the way we are raised as children, the dynamics that we see, the parent dynamic that we see, whether you were raised in a single parent household or 2 parents, whether you had siblings or not, whether maybe you were adopted, maybe you were a foster child, whatever we saw growing up greatly affects how we move, you know, as adults and just in our lives overall, because we're gonna go and reference what we know. We're gonna reference like what we seen growing up, and we're gonna think like, oh well, this is how I saw it. This is how what I experienced when I was a kid. So to me, this is right, you know. And I think like one thing I really learned in college, like that was, yeah, we'll talk about that too. One thing I really learned in college was like that's where I learned that phrase. Everybody wasn't raised the same. Because when I went to college and I started like seeing different people and just like the way, just everything, the differences, the way somebody may dress, you know, the way that the type of people somebody may hang around, or just like your schedule, how clean you keep your dorm, and just everything, how you move. I started seeing huge differences between myself and other people, and I'd be like, dang, like, well, I was in that like, well, I do it right, like, you know, you're supposed to do it like this. Like, I don't know what you're doing over there, but that ain't, you know, that ain't that. Yeah. And I remember somebody telling me, like, no, being around people like that is going to show you everybody ain't raised the same. Yeah. And that doesn't make it, oh, your way is right and their way is wrong. It's just differences. Yeah. Like, it's just how we grew up. Like, that greatly affects, you know, everything. And so, I kind of want to get into, I pulled the Lovers card. Perfect. So we can talk a little bit about like relationships, like how we was earlier, and how we're raised really affects our relationship and how we move. And I know we was talking about like, you know, that whole, okay, does the man work and does the man provide and do all of these things, or does the woman, or do you both, or, you know, what does that role look like? So I guess we can kind of go into like gender roles a little bit, like what that looks like for you. So if you want to tell, like, you know, we was talking about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so in my relationship, my man works and I stay at home, I watch the baby. and take care of the house. And I don't know that I was really prepared to really do all of that. Like, I had just moved into my first apartment. This was my first time living alone. So, and then have somebody else come in, and then we had a baby. So then it's just all of these extra chores and things to do. So it's like I can't, the stuff that I used to do on my own, I can't do that in a relationship. I can be lazy, or I would, well, even now, I can be lazy in today's time too. But before, I used to be very lazy. Like, oh, I just want to lay around. But now it's like, no, you need to get up and you need to do something. You need to clean up. Like, nobody wants to come home to a dirty house or not have food ready for them. Like, I just went out and worked. Like, you know, I should be able to come home and not worry about what we are going to eat. So, like, that became a thing, like, just making sure I knew what we were going to eat. We had clean clothes. Really just stepping into that role as the stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, I think, like, honestly, this day and age that we're in, like, just being a millennial or Generation Z, I think is what I am. I be getting confused between X and Z. But, like, it's so, that whole, like, idea of, oh, the stay-at-home mom, oh, being the motherly, the womanly, the feminine, it has been very looked down upon. It's also, like, I think so. I think it has changed from, like, that was just the expectation way back when, like, maybe our parents or our grandparents' generation. But now I think it's kind of like a fight to, like, not be that. Like, women really want to, no, I want to go out and work. I want to make the money. I want to be independent. I want to be outside. I want to do this, and this. I don't want to depend on no man. I don't want, it's very that independent woman, like, movement. And, like, that's, I'm just glad that we eased into this. Because I used to be like that. Like, I used to be so, like, I want to be in my masculine. Like, I'm the person who's going to make all the money. I'm going to make the money. I got my own business. I don't need nobody helping me. I'm going to do all this stuff by myself. I don't need no man for nothing. Like, y'all just for play. Like, I'm just really messing with y'all's head like you do to us. I'm just going to mess with your head, make you like me, and I'm not going to catch no feelings for you. I'm not servicing you. I'm not cooking for nobody. I'm not doing none of that. Like, you don't deserve that. I was very much so, like, in my masculine. But it took me to get into a relationship to understand, like, wait a minute. I think gender roles, and, you know, like we said, it's really different for everybody. It's different for everybody. But, like, for me personally, I started to value, like, gender roles a little more. Because I was like, okay, this isn't just, like, a societal thing. This comes down to, like, nature. Like,
and it helps the household. It's like, if we're two masculines going at each other, like, that can cause a lot of chaos. All the time. And it's like, nobody wants to do that all the time.
Like, if you got two masculine energies, you got that independent woman who want to work, she want to do everything, you want to be outside, do all of this, and that's okay if you want to. But you also have to realize, if you want to be that, okay, you're going to attract a feminine man.
And are you okay with that?
There's
nothing wrong with that.
There's
nothing wrong with that. But that's not the kind of relationship I attracted. I feel like I did have some of that mentality of the, oh, I want to be outside, I'm this strong, independent woman. I never wanted to handle everything on my own. But even knowing that now, it's like, okay, well, if I do want to have a partner, somebody that I can build with and grow with, I do have to be a little bit more softer, a little bit more feminine. That's what the men like. They want you to be strong too, but it's like, okay, you can be soft.
In times, at certain times. And it's like, what we don't talk about a lot is, in a relationship, there has to be contrast. There has to be, somebody got to play that masculine role, somebody got to play the feminine role. Because if you got two of the same energies, it's always going to clash. Like you said, if you got two masculine people, y'all going to be in competition. Y'all going to be butting heads. Well, I'm doing this, you doing that. Who's going to be the nurturer? Who's going to be the person who's taking care of the house? Like you said, like, who's going to be the person who's providing the meals? And, you know, this is just basic things that we're talking about. But who's going to be the more softer, nurturing aspect of the relationship if you just got two hard heads going at it all the time? Like, two Rams, two Aries just banging heads. Like, that's not the universal flow of things. And it kind of goes into, like, when I have learned about a relationship, it's a reflection of nature. It's a reflection of, you got the night and you got the day. You have the sun and the moon. You have all of the seasons for a reason. You have summer and then you have winter, which are the masculine and the feminine energies, and then you got that spring, fall, which is like the mix of them. But it's like, in order for there to be a flow, in order for there to be creation, and a relationship is literally for you to create something. It ain't just like
you gotta look at too what it is that you're creating. Because it's like, okay, are you creating chaos? Is it like you and your partner are always, something's always wrong? And that doesn't mean that it's not a good relationship, but it's like, okay, what are these problems that's arising, and how can we fix them? Like, how do we grow from this? How can we be better as individuals and in our relationship?
Yeah, I think it takes that the cycle of just that energy flowing back and forth. It has to be that balanced dynamic. And that just goes into like, I kind of want to touch back on what I was saying earlier. Like if us women, we want to be that masculine, all that, I'm a go-getter, I'm a business dude, I'm doing this, I'm the provider, I want to make all the money, I want to make all the decisions. You know, I think a lot of us, like, I can say this because I was there personally, I want to be the leader. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. I submit. I used to be like, what? I'm not about to listen to nobody. Like, and you just have to realize, like, okay, if you want to be that, you have to understand your relationship is a contrast. You're going to attract a man that is in his feminine. You're going to attract a man that is like, okay, well, I'm used to receiving. I'm not used to going out doing stuff. I'm not going to match you and be the worker and do this. All right, I'm going to stay at home. Like, I'm going to chill. You're going to provide for me. You're going to do for me. And he's going to be a taker and a receiver. And I think that, although I do feel like, you know, every woman is different. You're going to do what you want to do. Everybody's lifestyle is different. What you're meant to be is different. But I do know that us women naturally have a feminine energy. And our nature is to, just like our nature is to have children and to be that motherly, you know, figure to that child. Our nature is to receive. So when we get into these relationships and we trying to go against nature, trying to be this, something that we're not, and we attract the opposite, eventually you're going to resent that man, because you're going to get tired. You're going to be like, man, I'm the only person working, you only take from me, you only do this, and you know, it's going to be like a resentment there, because you're going to realize, like, dang, I was trying to play a role that I was never really meant to play. Like, trying to go against society, trying to go against, like, gender roles. I'm really creating a dynamic that's, like, it's kind of wearing me out. Like,
and I really do think it does depend on the relationship. Because when we say, like, masculine and feminine, like, it's nothing wrong. Well, I don't know. You know, but it is nothing wrong with, like, you know, if a man is feminine, or if it's two men in a relationship or two women in a relationship, like, it does still have to be some balance in that. Like, one person does have to be is feminine, and one person is the masculine. Because if not, it's just a lot of going at it.
Yeah. And just like what you said, like, I do want to go into, like, when I say, okay, somebody got to play that masculine role, somebody got to play that feminine, it's not that, okay, the man has to only be masculine.
Yeah, that's true.
Or the woman has to only be feminine. It's just, that is like what you lead with, almost. Because, like, for me, I'm an Aries. I'm always going to have a natural, like, masculine energy. But, like, what I have learned, like I said, from my relationships, is to lead with my feminine. Like, I got that balance for sure. My masculine comes out when I'm doing things like this. When I'm doing TTALK and I need to get shit done. I need to come in here, I need to set up, I need to do this, I need to be on a schedule. That's when my masculine comes out. And that's like, I'm always going to appreciate that masculine energy, that structure, that discipline, you know, drive, passion, getting things done. But I know when I come home, or when I go to my man in my relationship, I kind of lead more with my feminine. Because, like, when I'm there, I don't want to be the only person giving. I don't want to be the, oh, I'm providing for you, you know. I want to be in my receptive mode. I want to, like, soften up a little bit. I want to, like, I want you to nurture me. I want you to do for me. And it's like, it just comes to the balance of everything. The balance of, like, a balance in your relationship is a reflection of balance in yourself. And I think that is like an important thing that like we don't really understand that much.
We don't. Or we even recognize, like even taking accountability too, because it's like, okay, what am I putting out to attract this in my relationship?
Yes.
Like, why is all of this going on?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you brought that up because like, actually, me and my partner was talking about that the other day. How a lot of relationships, they kind of feel, so you go through seasons in your relationship. Just like we go through seasons. Summer, you got the spring, you got the summer, you got the fall, you got the winter. Springtime, new beginning, everything is just fresh, new. Summertime, it's like, oh my gosh, we lit, sun is out, we outside, everything's great. You know, I gotta really water this, but everything's good. Fall time, you start, you know, seeing a little bit more stuff. Like, okay, I didn't know you did that, but okay, I can. I can accept it a little bit. And then when you hit that winter time,
Yeah.
boy, that's when all of your shadow comes out. All of the way you were raised, your childhood, the way that you came up, and the dynamics that you've seen, that's when all of that comes out. And you can't.
It's tough.
Okay? Like, and I think that a lot of relationships don't get through that winter season and make it into the spring again because of like what you said. We, as women, we don't be taking accountability.
And people don't want to change.
Exactly.
It's like, well, if I've been doing this for this long and this dude put up with it and I was the one right in that relationship,
Right.
like, why I'm not right in this one.
Exactly. And in order to a relationship to get through them seasons and to get through like your winter and to go into your spring, it requires change.
It does.
Like even with self, even with us going through our own seasons, it's our own growth and our own elevation. It requires change. It requires you to go into your childhood, look at, okay, all right, what made me like this?
Yeah.
What gave me these ideas that I'm so firm on, you know, that's coming out right now? Like, why do I react this way? Why do I feel like things should be this way? Going into that, figuring out the root of it, and then being like, okay, not I need to change myself for somebody else, but how can I implement certain new habits and new ways of thinking, new ideas, new perspectives that is going to elevate, you know, this dynamic.
And making you a better you.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, even how you were saying with going to college, like maybe you knew a certain way of doing things, but that doesn't mean that was the right way. Or two, just seeing somebody else do something different. It's like, oh, okay, well, I like how they doing that. Maybe that's something I can put into my life to make, you know, things a little better for me, for my household, even if your spouse suggests something. And I think that's something that I struggle with the most. It's just taking feedback, like not thinking that is him attacking me.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm really just saying these things to make you a better you. And it's like, but hold up, I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's like just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen. Take it into consideration.
And that kind of, to me, it goes back into that, like, that accountability thing, where it's like, we gotta learn, your relationship is gonna be your deepest reflection. It is going to be a straight mirror to yourself. And some advice I was actually giving a friend the other day about a relationship, I was like, a lot of times, when us women go wrong, we blame, oh, he did this, he this, and I just can't mess with that, I don't want to be with him, you know. It's over, you didn't make it through that winter phase, because your shadow showed up. But what you don't realize is, this man is only reflecting everything you got going on inside. So it's not, yes, he is the person who is showing you, yes, he is doing those things, and that don't make it right.
Yeah.
That don't make it right at all, that doesn't excuse anything, but we have to be able to go in self and be like, okay, why did I attract that? This man is showing me my own shadow. He's just acting it out in the outer world, which is the masculine, you know? And the feminine is inside. So it's like, us women, I think, to create better relationship dynamics and to take our relationships past that winter season and to be able to go into that cycle and create growth instead of just stagnancy, dating the same men over and over and over, coming to the same problem, and you just feel like everybody wrong but you.
Yeah.
It takes like
but that is you.
Yeah,
like
that's
keep dating the same type of man.
Exactly. It's you.
Yeah.
On the outside, it's somebody trying to show you yourself. And you're gonna keep on facing that same thing over and over and over again until you really like look at yourself. And it's hard to do because we don't want to see like the bad parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't want to see where we go wrong.
Yeah, how we could have been better.
Because we just have this idea of like, well,
Right.
yeah, I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing to you. You did this all to me.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to like, he may have been the person who acted on those things and, you know, displayed all these things. But like I said, it was just a reflection of things that you were doing yourself. Your relationship is literally a reflection of the dynamic between your inner masculine and inner feminine. Like, that has taken my relationship like so many levels. Because if I was still in that, my very masculine, like, I'm right, you wrong, you did this, this is how it should be, I'm not listening, I'm not doing none of that. It's done. Like, once you hit that shadow, once again, you're gonna run from it, you're gonna blame everybody else, you're gonna be like, oh, it's you. But no, we just didn't look at ourselves. Like, we didn't use the relationship as a tool to better yourself.
And that's really what all relationships are, but definitely your most intimate one. It's like you are around this person the most. That's where you're gonna do the most work.
And I kind of want to like hear your perspective about, because I don't have a child, so I don't know. I've watched a lot of people, but I don't have one personally, so I don't have that. I can't really say much. But I do know that, you know, just like how we was talking, your relationship is the dynamic between your inner woman, your inner, you know, inner man, that inner feminine masculine energy. So that reflects. And then when you have a child, a lot more things start coming to the surface because that child that y'all produce together is a reflection of like your inner child. So I kind of want to hear like, what's been your experience? Just like, how has your child been like a reflection of just yourself?
I don't really know about the reflection part, but I do know that it did require me to be a different version of myself.